Something was poking my head. I sleepily reached out and pushed it away. Get away from me. My voice was barely audible. I was so hungry. Last night was a bad night. Mr. Rossi, the owner of Rossi's restaurant, told us that there wasn't much food left over, so my friends and I had to share a couple of loaves and a bowl of salad. A blast of cold water hit my face.
Carla, what did you do that for?
Great. The West Valley kids are back.
I thought I'd give her a shower. She reeks.
I got up to leave, but I slipped and fell. Carla and her friends laughed like they always did whenever they saw me on the streets. Most of them lived in West Valley, a rich neighborhood on the other side of town. I lived in street corners and dark alleys.
Come on, let's go.
Logan, Carla's boyfriend, grabbed her hand. I couldn't blame them for picking on me. My hair hadn't been washed in weeks, and my clothes were covered in grease stains. I was an easy target.
Hey, are you okay?
Logan was back. I'm great. Nothing like a cold shower to start my day.
I'm sorry about that, Carla. I brought you this.
He handed me a brown paper bag. It smelled so good.
Hey, Ellie, got yourself a boyfriend? Ah.
Cody, one of the older boys in my group, appeared from around the corner. Logan looked terrified of Cody, who was easily twice his size.
What do you have there? Smells delicious.
You can have it, Cody, just don't hurt him. When I turned around, Logan was gone. Before I continue with my story, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Also hit that notification bell so you don't miss more stories like mine. Trust me, there's loads of them.
Look, it's Smelly Ellie. Where's your boyfriend?
Cody and the others laughed. You have a big mouth, Cody. A week had passed since my run-in with Logan and his friends.
Did you hear? The mayor is hosting a fundraiser at Rossi's. I bet there's plenty of leftovers.
Mr. Rossi said he didn't want us there.
So what? Where does he plan to take all that leftover food? The way I see it, we'll be helping him clean up.
I couldn't argue with such logic, and neither could I argue with an empty stomach. So I followed Cody and the others. As we approached the alley behind Rossi's, we heard screaming.
Look, I think she's getting robbed. Quick, let's hide behind the dumpster.
A lady in an expensive pantsuit and even more expensive jewelry stood clutching her fur coat around her shoulders. A masked man was barking demands at her. He had a snake tattoo on his left arm.
Take off your ring and hand it over.
Snake Tattoo demanded.
But this was given to my husband by his grandmother. Please don't.
I told you to stop talking. The ring now.
Okay, you can have it.
She said tearfully as she took it off.
Please let me go now.
The restaurant's back door opened, startling the masked man. As he ran past us, he dropped something. I picked it up and saw that it was a ring. I got up and ran towards the woman. Hey, ma'am, I found—
Get away from me.
But A police car drove into the alley.
Ellie, run!
Cody shouted as we all scattered like rats. Early the next morning, I went to Rossi's. The doorman stopped me before I could even get to the door. I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm just here to return this. I held out the ring for him to see. Just then, Mr. Rossi joined us.
Where did you get that?
It belongs to the woman who was attacked here last night. The man who attacked her dropped it as he ran.
You found Julia's ring. Her husband will be so pleased. Look, here he comes now.
A black SUV pulled up and a white-haired man got out. I expected them to ask me to leave, but Mr. Rossi surprised me by introducing me to the man.
Good morning, Mr. Whitaker. Ellie here has something that belongs to Julia.
The man eyed me suspiciously. I have your wife's ring. I extended my hand towards him, but he took a step back. Mr. Rossi took the ring from my hand and put it in a handkerchief and then handed it to Mr. Whitaker. He repeated what I told him about last night.
This ring belonged to my grandmother. Julia will be so relieved and happy. Thank you so much.
He took out his wallet and handed me a few $100 bills. But, sir, this is too much.
It's the least I could do. Please, take it.
I grabbed the money and I was about to run when I remembered something. Sir, the attacker, he had a snake tattoo on his left arm.
Julia didn't mention that to the police. She must have been so afraid she didn't notice. Would you mind coming to my house? The detective on the case will meet you there.
When I hesitated, he smiled.
It'll just take a few minutes, I promise.
But how will I get to your house?
We can use my car.
I looked down at my clothes and shook my head.
It's all right. The car is not that clean anyway.
I nodded as I reluctantly got in. The car was spotless. I wanted to get back out, but it was too late. We were already on our way. When we got to Mr. Whitaker's home, I openly gawked. He lived in a freaking palace.
Wait here. Let me fetch our housekeeper.
A few minutes later, a short, plump woman wearing a kitchen apron came out.
You must be Ellie. I'm Penny. It's nice to meet you. Come with me.
Penny led me to the Whitaker's laundry room.
You should be okay out here. I'll get you some clothes and food so you can eat and get cleaned up. I'll be right back.
A shower, clean clothes, and food sounded like heaven.
Penny, did something die in here? It stinks. Sorry, Mrs. Whitaker. That's, Ellie, are you in here?
I walked out of my hiding spot before a washing machine. Julia was beautiful. The light at the back of Rossi's restaurant didn't do her justice.
You! I know you. What are you doing in my house?
Mr. Whitaker asked me to come so I can tell the detective what I saw last night. I also gave him your ring. Julia walked towards me, arms across her chest.
And what is it you think you saw? I already told the police everything. You can leave now.
Not everything. Don't you want to find the people who attacked you?
How dare you?
I flinched and shielded my face.
What's going on here?
Logan?
Ellie?
You two know each other? Wait until I tell your father you're going into that rat-infested alley again.
Leave me alone. Don't you have puppies to kick?
You'll not speak to me like that. I'm your mother.
No, you're not.
Julia looked like a vicious cat with her claws out, ready to attack.
Ugh!
She stomped her heels, then turned and left. I couldn't help but laugh.
Hey, Ellie, Dad told me you were down here. Sorry about Julia. She's intense.
I noticed. So, Mr. Whitaker is your dad?
Yes, and Julia's my stepmom.
We stood in awkward silence.
So, anyway, Dad asked me to bring you some of my clothes. Here.
He handed me a bunch of t-shirts and sweatpants.
Bathroom's in there.
I took an hour-long shower. I scrubbed my skin until it was red and raw to remove the grease and grime out from my hair and my body. As I got dressed, I thought about Logan and his family. Even though I was the one who found Julia's ring, she didn't look happy to see me. Maybe she'd change her attitude now that I was clean. Penny led me up the 2 flights of stairs to Mr. Whitaker's office. A bald man in a suit sat on an armchair, facing Mr. Whitaker. Julia sat on a couch, flipping through a magazine.
There's no way that's the same girl. Wow, I didn't know water and soap could perform magic.
Mr. Whitaker cleared his throat. Julia rolled her eyes.
Hello, Ellie. This is Detective Chavez. Please tell him what you told me.
I described the tattoo to the detective, who had a recording device and a notebook. A few minutes later, the detective left.
Well, that was a waste of our time.
How so?
Do you know how many thugs out there have a snake tattoo? Plus, the girl is probably lying.
I know what I saw.
Whatever. I'm going out.
I better go too, sir.
How about you stay here for a few days? It's the least we could do after you helped us so much.
Penny, what will happen to me now? I'd been at the Whitaker's house for almost a week. Logan and his dad didn't seem to mind, but Julia was not happy. The thought of returning to the street made my stomach churn.
I don't know, dear, but I'm sure Mr. Whitaker will let you know soon.
I could become your assistant? He doesn't have to pay me. I just need food and a place to sleep. Penny smiled sadly. I was very nervous and quiet at dinner that evening. What if they kicked me out? Will you kick me out? I couldn't wait any longer. I had to know.
What? Dad would never do such a thing, right, Dad?
Logan was right. Mr. Whitaker did not kick me out, much to Julia's annoyance. What was her deal anyway? Instead, he told me that he had spoken to the principal at Logan's school and I'd be reporting to school in a few days. You sure you want your friends to see you with me? Most of them know me as Smelly Ellie. Logan and I stood outside the principal's office at his school. I guess it was my school now, too. I felt like I was in a foreign country. I dropped out of school years ago, so the principal told me I'd be a few grades behind Logan.
They won't even recognize you, and even if they do, so what? You're my friend now.
During lunch, Carla and her minions introduced themselves. Logan told them that I transferred from another country.
OMG. Are your parents, like, diplomatics?
Logan and I exchanged a look and burst out laughing. This was going to be fun. By the end of the week, Carla had told everyone that we were best friends. She even told other girls to keep off because she found me first. Does she think I'm a puppy or something? I asked Logan as he taught me how to play one of his favorite video games.
More like a shiny new toy.
Wait until I tell her who I really am.
You do that?
Logan looked shocked. Why not? Let's see how she likes being BFFs with Smelly Ellie. Logan looked sad. What's wrong?
I hate that name. Don't call yourself that, please.
Okay, I'll stop. The door opened and a man I'd never seen before walked in.
Hello, Logan. Uncle D, I haven't seen you in months. This is Ellie. Ellie, this is Julia's brother, Derek. Julia sent me to pick you up and drive you to the mall. She heard that you've been wearing Logan's clothes to school.
I stared at my feet, embarrassed.
I don't mind. Are we going or not? I don't have all day.
Charm must run in their family, I thought to myself as I stood up. Logan could drive me.
I have a tutor coming this afternoon, sorry.
I guess I was stuck with the ray of sunshine that was Derek. That's not the way to the mall. We'd been driving for almost an hour. Where are you taking me? He didn't reply. Instead, he pulled into a gas station. I'm calling Logan. Derek grabbed my arm and twisted it. Let go of me, you're hurting me.
Listen to me, you little rat. I don't know what you think you saw, but I'm not going back to jail because of you.
What are you talking about? My arm hurt as I struggled to get out of his grip. I bit his arm hard and he screamed in pain. He raised his fist to hit me, and that's when I saw it. A snake tattoo on his left arm. I opened the car door and ran into the shop at the gas station. I looked back and saw Derek drive off fast. Excuse me, can I borrow your phone? I asked the lady behind the cash register. I called Logan and told him what happened.
I'm on my way. I'm also calling Dad.
Derek was arrested later that day. He confessed to attacking Julia, and that was not all. He told the police that Julia is the one who asked him to do it. I can't believe Julia planned her own attack. Why would she do that? Logan and I were at the school cafeteria eating our lunch a few days later.
My dad's ring, of course. It's worth millions. Derek was going to sell it for her. Dad's so mad at her.
So that's why she never liked me. I ruined her plan to sell the ring.
Please tell me it's not true.
Carla walked up to her table.
Please tell me you're not
She lowered her voice.
Smelly Ellie.
She made a face.
Carla, leave her alone.
It's all right, Logan. I smiled as I stood up. Everyone, I have something to say. Most of you know me as Elizabeth, but a few weeks ago I went by a different name. Guys, it's me, Smelly Ellie. Someone dropped their plate. Oh, and hey, Carla, thanks for the lipstick you shared with me last week. Aren't you glad I'm not so smelly anymore?
I'm going to be sick.
Carla ran out of the cafeteria. I sat back down and continued eating my lunch. Logan shook his head and smiled. A few weeks later, Mr. Whitaker took Logan and I to lunch at Rossi's. Mr. Rossi joined us for lunch.
So, Ellie, I spoke to the mayor this afternoon about your brilliant idea of turning our leftovers into meals to feed kids on the street. He's on board. An anonymous donor also came forward and gave his warehouse to be used as a community center.
We all looked at Mr. Whitaker. Anonymous donor, huh? We all know it was you. Mr. Whitaker smiled.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.